I don't know who it is at Netflix that has the power to pursue live action video games and anime for their programming. But so far they've struck out 3 times now. Death Note was awful. By the way, they're still going to try that again. They're making a series of it. Live action series. Trust me, it'll be awful. That Cowboy Bebop. That was incredibly awful. And then now Resident Evil. Don't forget they have Yu Yu Hakusho, the Death Note series, and One Piece live action coming. And those are going to be just as bad as the shit they've done before. I don't know how you can mess this up. Like I said before, why is it so hard to just make something in a mansion, like some kind of zombie show or series or movie in a mansion? Like, you start with the first game, the blueprint's pretty much there, and it works. But it doesn't matter. They want to do their own thing every time when it comes to Resident Evil, and it always backfires, and it's awful. This has been an awful series. It's probably, as Bounded in the Comics puts it, the biggest disgrace to the franchise so far because, well, it's awful. I watched half of the first episode. That's all I could get through. I was kind of curious, is it really that bad? And it is. It's awful. Complete pile of shit. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but, here we are. Now, I would be done with this, but there was an interesting article that I found that I definitely wanted to talk about in a video because, once again, we have some Japanese reactions to what's going on. And this time, they don't like it. They also didn't like Cowboy Bebop, but there were some people that had kind things to say about it. But for the most part, it was still pretty hated over there. Japanese fans criticize Netflix Resident Evil more like politically correct hazard. They don't like the wokeness over there. They don't like it at all. So I always find it funny because at the end of the day, Resident Evil is a Japanese-made franchise. It started off in Capcom called Biohazard. Over here it was called Resident Evil. I actually like Biohazard a little bit better. I wish they had just kept that name and use that everywhere, but it is what it is. I mean, Resident Evil has taken over the actual name. They even call it Resident Evil now in Japan, I believe. So, that's the name that won out at the end, but I do think Biohazard's a cooler name. Anyway, let's go over this because it's just, I find it funny to see them trash the show. So, I didn't see this before. This is the Metacritic score. 53% for the critic reviews, and then the user score is a 1.8. Seems pretty low. Lower than the the audience score over on Rotten Tomatoes, which is sitting at 22%. Man, there's 53% for critics. I still find this funny. And then you go to GameSpot, and they say it's a 9. Almost comes off like paid advertising. I talked about that in yesterday's video. It comes off as paid advertising to me because them and IGN have the same kind of headline. It's just funny. And they gave it like practically the same number, 9 out of 10. Masterpiece. But every other critic's like, yeah, this is shit. It's just usually, it's just funny to see 2 video game websites shill it hard. It almost makes me wonder if Capcom or Netflix threw them a little bit of money. But I can't prove that. All I can say is it's suspicious. So, the Netflix CG anime Resident Evil Infinite Darkness also had low scores, but were still higher with a 50% rating from critics and a 39% audience score. Some suggest the low scores could be due to the changes made to Albert Wesker's character, but Japanese fans had plenty of other criticisms about the show. I'm watching Netflix's Biohazard right now, but it is politically correct hazard. As expected, it's such a waste to go with Wesker again when you're going with a new approach to the story. I think that's fair. You're going to do something new, but you're going to bring in Wesker. And from what I've seen, he's Wesker in name only. The last CG anime Resident Evil on Netflix was also pretty iffy. All I have to say is the Netflix Resident Evil is honestly no fun at all. I just turned off my brain to watch it and still had enough. I started watching the Netflix Resident Evil show, and I've never felt the this isn't it feeling so hard because of the influence of political correctness. I had to stop watching, and I even liked the Wesker too. So this guy liked Wesker. That Lance Reddick guy's a great actor. The show's just shit. The new Netflix Resident Evil drama is such a waste of time, I dumped it already. I was checking out the Netflix Resident Evil drama, but I couldn't get over how egotistical the female protagonist was. Yeah, she's not very likable at all. And I only watched a little bit of the show, and I was like, these two main characters are annoying. It's like a zombie show, but the plot is about two teenagers hanging out in a hallway and talking about their feelings. Kind of like a CW show. I watched the Netflix Resident Evil, but it was just stressful. The producers just don't get it, do they? All we need for Resident Evil is explore, run away, and escape, okay? We don't need any of this human drama bullshit. They could have just made a live-action Revelations, and it would have definitely been more fun. This comment's kind of funny. I heard the Netflix Resident Evil show is terrible. Too bad we can't make Japanese movies, but with American money, then we can hold back on the American level of political correctness. This person says it was okay. And other people pointing out they should have just made their own story and then they could make whatever changes to the cast or whatever they wanted. But Japanese, they don't like it. Seems they hate it. They don't like the PC stuff over there at all. They don't like woke. They universally reject it. There's a really funny anime that was super woke and didn't even get to finish its first season. I forget the name of it. But it was like super woke, and the Japanese like shot it to the ground and wanted nothing to do with it. And that's an example of what they're doing with this show. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. I do watch parties, play video games over there. They're always fun. Follow me over there and come hang out. Also, make sure you subscribe to YellowFlash, my other channel. There's a link to that in the description as well. I do a lot of live streams over there that I don't do on this channel. Usually smaller and a little bit more personal. So make sure you follow me over there and sign up.